One of my buddies gave me a shirt.
We tell people to send us shit all the time.
Send us your memorabilia. I like free shit. We'll wear it on the show.
No, people want us to send them free shit.
Yeah, well,
from the show.
Tell them to send us free shit first.
Okay. I'll send you free shit for free shit.
Yes.
Then
as long as you send us free shit, we can sell it for a profit, and then we can give you guys free shit.
There you go.
Hey everyone, I'm Brad from Calgary.
This is Sean from Cambridge, Ontario.
I'm Terry from Cornwall, Ontario.
Hey, this is Larry from Pitt Meadows, British Columbia, and you're listening to the Towing Life Podcast.
Welcome to the Towing Life Podcast, where the ditches are deep, the trucks are loaded, but the drivers are not. I'm your host, TomanG, and as usual, I'm joined by my co-host, friend, and former co-worker, the man with very strong opinions, Mr. Plain Guy.
What is going on, G? What is going on?
Oh, I'm getting excited because I'm going to have a fire after recording this, so hopefully I'll be able to get this video edited in time for Tuesday.
Nice. Burn it to the ground. I don't know what you're burning, but burn all of it. The house, the trailer, the shed, just burn it all.
I'm not going to do that. My fire permit doesn't allow fires that big.
On next week's episode, we'll find out how G frauded the insurance company out of home insurance for burning down his property.
The only thing that's close to the fire pit is my truck with a bed load full of wood.
There you go. It's called a friction fire.
Last time I had a fire, I still had the whole bed full of wood and the tonneau cover half rolled up, and all the sparks and embers from the fire were landing on the tonneau cover. So instead of moving my truck, I just grabbed the hose that I have on ready and just hosed down my whole truck. It's like, there we go.
Problem solved.
Haven't even looked at the truck in a week since that fire, so I don't know if there's any damage to it or not.
Your tonneau cover might have a built-in sprinkler system in the top of it for when it rains.
Maybe I can start like a hydroponic garden in the bed of it or something.
Do a little mudding, then park it, and as long as it rains and you water your truck every once in a while, you'll have a little wheat field by the end of the summer.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe I could get 32 cents on the commodity crop prices out of it.
Jesus. The things that go on with behind the gates of the cult never cease to amaze me.
Yep.
So, welcome to another episode of the Towing Life Podcast. As G said, episode 148, creeping so much closer to our live episode number 150, which we will be having, I wrote it down again,
August 25th.
August 25th at 6 p.m. East, 3 p.m. on the West Coast, or anytime in between that, depending on where and when you're listening from, I guess. Also, good time with the live coming up. Questions, comments, concerns, any topics you may want covered, or have that conversation with us on the live. How can you reach us? It's simple. You can, if you're watching over on YouTube, comment down below. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. I always forget to mention it, so I'll start with it this week. You can visit us at www.towinglife.ca. You can find us on Facebook at the Towing Life Podcast, or you can email us directly at thetowinglife@gmail.com. Now, while you're over on the website, and this is why I say it's the best spot to go, you will see our social media feed there, where there is a link for the pre-order for the 2024 PTO Tow Show t-shirts. We've got the Towing Saved Me from Becoming a Porn Star, Now I'm Just a Hooker shirts that have circulated over the internet last year when I went to Baltimore. We will have them. They are by pre-order only. They are by pickup at the show only. So if you head over there, you'll see the link on our social media. If you don't have, you can always do it right through our website. You will see the link to it to get the pre-order. The pre-order closes August 16th. So that's just a couple days after this episode comes out. That's the next Friday. Episode comes out on the 13th. Pre-order ends on the 16th. So we have time to get the shirts made and brought to the tow show. So do not forget, head over to www.towinglife.ca and find the link there to get the pre-order for the t-shirt, or emails directly, and we'll get you set up. Send us a message, whatever it is. We'll make sure you're taken care of. That tow show is coming up quick. That is September 16th, 17th. So about a month after that, we will be in Kitchener for the Professional Towing Association of Ontario's 2024 annual tow show. It's supposed to be a great show. We've been working with some, I have. G's been doing nothing as usual. We're working with some of our friends over the tow show to bring you guys some of the feed and videos from the parade and the procession like we did last year. So head over to the website, get the information, get the pre-order for the shirt if you are going to be there. And if you are don't forget, we will see you in Bingman September for the Tow Show. So busy August, September for us.
Plain guy.
Yes, sir.
Where can all these fine ladies and gentlemen find our live?
Oh, they can find our live on Facebook or on YouTube.
There you go.
Coming out, I have a social media post that will be coming out for it. But yes, you will be able to find our live either here over on YouTube if that's where you're listening. If you are on Spotify, Amazon Music, any of those, I do not believe you can get the live. We will have a replay. That will be the episode that comes out on the Tuesday.
Yep.
However, if you want, you can head over to our Facebook, head over to our YouTube, and that is where you will find the live. We'll put a post up the day of, giving you the link depending on where you want to watch it. So either check out our website, or the easiest way is just follow our social media. We're not on Instagram. We're not on TikTok. We're not on all these things that I don't understand.
I think we have a TikTok account.
We just never do anything with it.
Yeah.
As G is our lead social media marketing expert, he has failed severely in his duties.
Severely.
That's a new title I just gave him.
Oh wow. Thank you. Does it come with a pay raise?
What?
Does it
Yeah,
come with
no,
a pay raise?
I'm doubling what I pay you.
Oh, okay. So double of nothing is still nothing?
100%. You're good at
Okay.
math, you should
I
be our
know.
accountant. If you want to be my accountant, I'll triple it.
No, because that would actually come with added work that you would expect me to do.
Yeah, if you want to be my accountant, I'll triple that. I'll 3 times
Hey, just
pay
don't blame me when the tax man comes knocking.
Gotta make money to pay taxes. Um,
Come on, aren't you rolling in the dough with this fine show?
oh, I'm pretty sure this fine show costs us money week after week after week. You just never
I
see
think
any of it.
we should set up like a donation link or something.
There should be a donation.
GoFundMe. A GoFund the Towing Life podcast.
Keep us from being homeless. We do it for sheer passion, not profit.
Yeah.
Profit's nice, but for the most part, it's for
Yeah.
passion. So remember that whenever you're listening and we have bad days, we don't get
Yeah.
paid for this.
Yeah.
We do it for fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't had a sponsor on the show in a hot minute. Now, I'm not sure if the listeners actually care. I never really
No, they
heard
probably
any
appreciate it.
complaints.
They don't have
I've
ads
never,
now. It's great.
but I didn't hear any complaints about our ads when we were running ads.
That's because it was my wonderful voice behind 90% of them.
Fair.
And
I guess.
they're already just so mesmerized while they're listening that that little bit extra just puts them over the top.
Really? Really? Just everyone's
Anyways,
so starstruck hearing your voice.
let's get to actual towing stuff.
Okay.
What do you want to start with? You want to start with
I'll start with my my little story here because it's still fresh, and if we wait any longer, I won't be able to remember it.
Fair.
So I was in the bedroom with the girlfriend just before the show started.
We're not that kind of show, G. We are not that kind of show.
And I
thought we were
brought up
starting
the
with
question.
a video. I'm now scared.
I brought up the question to her. It's like, what should I talk about on the show? Because I wanted a couple minutes to come in here and prep for the show, because I haven't been in the towing industry for coming up almost a year now, in case you didn't know. So I feel like I've been slacking in the topic department a slight bit. So I wanted to do a little bit of added work there. And I said to her, I was like, so what do you think I should talk about on the show? Because, why do my own work if I can get someone else to do it for me? Work smart, not hard. And she said, oh, we'll talk about the Tow Show stuff. And our conversation kind of went to the word of, well, I still need to buy CAA because she used to be a CAA member. I was like, well, and she doesn't normally keep her credit card on her because she's worried that she's going to use her credit card. I was like, well, you should have a picture of your credit card on your phone just in case for like emergencies. I'm a firm believer you should have a picture of your credit card number in case you don't remember the 18-digit long number, right?
Or we have such thing called Apple Pay now.
Okay, but I'm still saying you should have a picture of your credit card number on your phone, or at least some way to have that number on your phone.
Wait, one quick second. For anyone that's going to try and go back and stop that video, Apple Pay does not show. Apple Pay doesn't show all the numbers, so it's pointless.
So having a picture of your credit card on your phone is good for a lot of reasons, just in case you lose your physical card copy and it's lost but not stolen, you can still get by. And she was like, well, no, I won't do that either because, well, I would just use that and I would just always spend it. but I do have a picture of your credit card number on my phone. I was like, of course you do.
Nice.
So you'll spend my money before you spend anyone else's money.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I'm pretty sure my wife's got my credit card number, but not hers. That
Yeah.
sounds about right.
But
But
I'm a firm believer of always having a picture of your credit card information on your phone, normally deep in your camera roll, just for that premise. Like if you're at a store somewhere, a lot of stores, they can manually enter in credit card information.
where nowadays manually will take a credit card over the phone?
Well, I mean, if you're in a pinch and you say that's the only option and you've already got all your stuff there.
But like, why not literally just get Apple Pay?
I
Having it
don't
on
have an
your
Apple.
phone is just well, there's Google Pay. It's the same thing.
Oh, I don't
Like
know.
having a phone on your phone is just as unsecure in case somebody were to actually access.
Steal
They
your
have
phone?
they have the number. The
Yeah.
only way you can get mine is by me looking at it,
Oh.
like by unlocking the phone or having the passcode. It's so secure nowadays.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm sure there's some scammer that can tap your phone, whatever. They can do that to your wallet too, going down the
Mm.
road, whatever the case is. But like, at least then you can tap, so you're capped on how much you can tap.
Yep.
But like, nowhere's writing down credit card numbers anymore, man. Like that is a dying practice because of chargebacks
Yeah.
and people
I don't
getting
know. When
screwed
I
and
was in
whatnot.
the industry, that's what we did all the time. I would get customers
Oh
just
yeah,
to send me a
100%.
picture of their credit card, and I'd run it at the shop
We
or
won't. We
whatever.
won't. No, we won't do it.
No.
No, we
Hmm.
have. We've been lucky through our POS system. That we can send them an. So first, we were doing credit card authorization forms that
Hmm.
they would fill out, right? Similar to hotels have sent me those when I've got drivers staying out on the road and I'm using
Yep.
my credit card. And those didn't even protect us against chargebacks.
Mm.
What has protected us against chargeback is we use Moneris, and
Yep.
through Moneris, we are able to send a payment request link. So we put in the information, the call number, the amount, the email address, all that, the general description. We send you a request.
Hmm.
From that request, you are responsible like you would do in online shopping.
Hmm.
You fill out your name, your billing address, your credit card number, blah, 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 blah. Enter.
Hmm.
That way, we're not filling it out. When we're filling it out, we're responsible, right? If somebody is using a stolen card and doing that, that is now the insurance on the card's problem,
Mm.
right? Because it was the person that entered it. If the vendor enters it, in
Yep.
our case, we're the vendor, we are responsible. And we had chargebacks like that. And so we stopped doing it.
Hmm.
It's a great system. I wish we're trying to see if there's a way to do it by text that they're hopefully coming out
Mm.
with, because email is still a little bit like, it'd be nice if
Slow.
there was a text
Yep.
link option.
Yep.
The technology is there, and like older people, like, some older people don't have email. Most like my grandparents know how to enter their credit cards for really bad reasons. But they know how to use their credit cards online now, and they're 80 some years old.
Yep.
So, you know what I mean? Like a text option like that, and just you're covered, you're protected.
Yep.
Weirdly enough, you're not always protected 100%. I didn't even think of this story until we got onto this topic of credit cards.
Hmm.
We had a customer who had a vehicle impounded for, I believe it was stunt driving or suspended license, whatever the case was. Came in, picked up his impound, claimed that my driver caught one of his ABS wires on a Mercedes.
Right. I remember you telling the story.
You remember this story, right? Okay.
Mm.
So, wanted us to pay for the damages. We refused. We looked into it. We reviewed the damage. We seen where the wire was ran up. There's no way to hit it. All that good stuff.
Yep.
He filed a fraudulent charge with his credit card company.
Yep.
And provided them the repair invoice, and which didn't make any sense. Like, this is not a credit card fraudulent charge. He was in our place of business with his card, manually put it in, put the PIN number in, and now he's claiming fraudulent because we wouldn't pay. So there's 3 normally appeal processes. We won 1, lost 2. We lost the appeal on it and lost the funds.
Wow.
For a situation that has nothing to do with a credit card, the processing company. Your card was not fraudulently used. You went to that business, received a copy of the invoice, paid said invoice, and then had a problem with them and decided that your best recourse was going to be like, no, that was fraudulent. What do you mean it was fraudulent? You were there. I got video footage showing you that I'm explaining the invoice to you. Lost the appeal.
That's
So
stupid.
credit cards suck when you're a company. Honestly, e-transfers are our main, and Americans like e-transfer.
Hmm.
E-transfer is a way through email to send funds directly. It's kind of like using a Venmo, but it's everyone pretty much has it linked to their email with their
Oh, is
bank.
that why everyone in the States has Venmo or Cash App because they don't have e-transfers?
They don't have e-transfers in the States, no.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's Venmo, Cash App, PayPal,
Yep.
that kind of stuff. I don't know why they don't have e-transfer.
Yeah, it's weird.
Let's be honest, it took them forever to get chips in their cards.
Really?
I believe, yeah, they didn't have because they didn't
What
have
about
Interact.
tap cards?
I think e-transfer is Interact, and Interact is Canadian. I think that's the
Okay.
whole. So the
Mm,
company who does it,
yep.
Interact e-transfers, is not in the States.
Mm,
No, man, their tap and their stuff is so different than here. Like it's the same idea. You tap it,
yep.
but like I've seen where I have to tap. Is it tap and put in a pin, or tap and sign, or put in a
Really?
pin? And yeah, they have like a weird, like us, it's tap and done and pin. That's it. I've
Yep.
had to like put in a pin and sign.
Hmm.
I've had to like
What's the
tap and
point
then
of even tapping then?
I don't know.
Like in drive-throughs, like if I roll through the Mickey D's drive-through, all I got to do if there's no one in front of me, they hand the machine out the window,
Mm,
confirm my order. I tap on the screen,
yeah,
and I'm driving before the machine's even done beeping to
yeah,
say the process has gone through.
yeah.
Right? Like
No,
I
I
don't even touch the machine.
when I go down to the States, same thing with restaurants. They still do the thing, which always boggles me in the States, because they come with the bill, and I go, okay,
Hmm.
credit card. I'm like, okay, and they stand there, and we're used to where they bring the machine to the table.
Yep.
Not in the States. You give them the card, they take the card, they go to the back, they run it, and then you have that little tip where you would write the tip and the new total. They still do that in the States.
Really? So you got to mathematically add the tip.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So for you American listeners, how we do things in Canada,
Huh.
the land of maple syrup and common sense, is we have our machine and we put in our card, whatever the case is, and there's a tip option right on it.
Hmm.
And so you just do everything right there at the table. They normally, like normal practice is a waitress will or waiter will bring you a bill with
Hmm.
the machine with it, because
Yep.
cash is dying so much that everyone's paying by card, but they
Are
do
they
it right there.
worried that Americans are going to steal the machine on their way out the
Maybe
door?
the crackheads are going to want the copper wire out of it.
Maybe.
You know what I figured out the other day?
What?
This is another fun American conversation. So, units of measurement, right? We know there's metric and imperial. And I
Yep.
can't remember how we got on this conversation.
Okay.
So there's pounds,
Hmm.
and then there's ounces,
Hmm.
right? We're going slower. This was a weird one because I know, and my Canadian friends will know how I know this, that there's 28 grams in an ounce, right? And then I can't remember how many ounces in a pound. I always forget that one when it comes to like, babies and whatever. So there's 28 grams in an ounce. Because it's a weird number, like 28 goes into 1 ounce, I always assumed, and I knew better, that grams was an imperial measurement because it makes sense. Because you guys have 12 inches into a foot. You have, I don't know how many feet into a mile and whatnot, and so on and so forth. Where I was shocked to remember that grams is actually a metric measurement. There's 1 gram, there's 1,000 grams, and a kilogram. And so on and so forth. Everything is in tens in our metric system. So it was quite shocking and surprising to me when I realized, which I should have known better, that there's no smaller weight measurement than an ounce, which is mind-boggling to me. That you Americans have, I guess it's point, or it's 9/32 of an ounce. Like, come over to the metric system. We have cookies and common sense. That's enough of my rant for US measurement. We have lost G throughout all this, which I'm very sad, because G is not a mathematician wizard, and I think he would have rather enjoyed the conversation about that. So, until we get him back, I'm not going to waste his time on an episode because we are on a bit of a time crunch. One thing we wanted to talk about today, and I guess it's going to be a monologue at this point, is crash wrap. We are always looking at new ways to, I don't want to say capitalize because it makes it sound like we're trying to take advantage of a situation, but towing companies are always looking at, extra profit centers within the services they provide. Right? We have seen it charging for skates. I've been a big believer of that. If you've got to use specialty equipment, skates, go jacks, um, there's all kinds of little things that you can use to charge for them. The one thing that I think a lot of people should really consider or look into is crash wrap. Crash wrap is a thick plastic, like saran wrap that you would put over your Tupperware containers or your lunches before throwing them in the microwave. Or I don't know if you can really put saran wrap in the microwave, but that kind of idea, like a cling wrap, specifically meant for vehicles that have been involved in accidents. So here's the scenario. You have a vehicle that was involved in an accident and a window is maybe put down and the the fire department disconnected the battery. Maybe the window was damaged and shattered during an accident, whatever the case may be. And that vehicle arrives in your impound with the window down, exposed to the elements. One of the easiest ways, and so far, knock on wood, we've had good luck getting paid on it, is putting on crash wrap on the windows, right? Because as an insurance company who's looking to buy a car, even if it's totaled, they are going to send this vehicle to auction. Welcome back, G. They are going to send this vehicle to auction. Now, there's only certain components of the vehicle that are still in sellable or reusable state that are going to drive up the price of this vehicle at auction. One being a full leather interior, possibly, or any interior pieces for that sense, right? So adding crash wrap to a window is going to protect the vehicle from the elements. Even if it's an impound of sorts with a customer, they're going to appreciate it because the interior of their car isn't getting soaked and destroyed. Let's say it's something for an impaired or some sort of HTA, or criminal impact that wasn't an accident.
Mm.
And you can charge for it. Like, we have a standard practice. It's $25 per window.
Mm.
And I promise you, if you charge $25 per window, the roll will more than pay for itself.
Yep.
And it's really a non-negotiable fee. It's not something, oh, well, can you knock off that? No, because it's a product. It's shown right there in the photo that we have.
Mm.
It is, you show them that and you go, look, we just protected the interior of your vehicle. It's a perfect application of crash wrap, and it's sticky as hell. It comes with a little cutter tool. You need the cutter tool or a knife of sorts because it's tough.
So it's pretty much like cellophane, but for car windows and actually sticky.
Yeah, it's like a saran wrap. It's like a thick saran wrap, and you can use it in all kinds of different applications.
And will that stay on the car while you're going down the road? 99%.
I believe so. I've never tried.
Hmm.
Normally, like, we just do it to protect the vehicle while it's in our
Well,
compound.
no, I'm thinking like for local police departments, if they're like sealing up a vehicle and it's got a smashed window, would this be something they could potentially use to help seal
100%.
up the
You
vehicle?
can tow it, like, you can tow it down the road like that, and there is no it's not coming off.
Mm-hmm.
It's sticky. It doesn't leave any residue or anything. It's called crash wrap. There was another name I found for it called like accident wrap or something like that. But it's something that, like I said, you can, any impound with a broken window, it's a good customer service thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a way to make a couple extra bucks on your bill without being a, labeled as a crook or a criminal or any of that.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened with your internet? You missed our US unit of measurements.
Yeah, I had no idea where you're going with that other than the pounds. Like, I had no idea where you went.
Okay, well, you can watch back the episode later when you're editing it and figure it out. I think you'll rather enjoy it.
Okay. No, so I've got the new Starlink modem, and I checked it, and I checked the connections. I opened up the app on my phone, which is normally a very user-friendly app, and this isn't a self-promotion to fucking Starlink. But if the internet goes down, the app is useless.
Oh.
Like if you can't connect to your Starlink because the router went down, the app gives you no information, which is kind of that's what you'd think. But when you turn to the app for, hey, my internet's not fucking working, can you give me some insights? But no, apparently the router just lost connection to the satellite for 35, 45 seconds, and then it takes its time to reboot. And
there was an asteroid that went by. That had to be it.
Probably. Maybe one of the satellites got blown out of the sky. Who knows?
There you go. Elon
Yeah.
didn't pay his satellite bill.
No, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I'm pretty sure there's always money in that account that the bill gets paid for. Did they know? Like, this motherfucker's going to start recording a podcast at 7 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. We'll cut off his internet mid-recording.
The girlfriend probably maxed out the credit card that's used to pay the Starlink bill. Damn it. That's why she's got that number.
Darn it.
Now we know.
She actually just bought a kayak. She went to one of the Costco, not a regular Costco, but like a bulk, like a even bulkier bulk Costco. I can't remember. Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
It's the best definition of a Costco I've ever heard
Yeah.
in my life. She went to the Costco of Costco's.
Yes, like there's no food, but like big ticket items.
Okay.
And she found
And
this
you got to buy
kayak.
7 kayaks.
She found this kayak for like $330, and she's been wanting a kayak for like 3 years now. And most of them are in the $600+ range. So she called her dad with a trailer to go pick it up, and instead of putting
She's got a Jeep, strap it to the roof.
She was scared. She was doing 70 on the way home because it ended up being strapped onto the top of her Jeep. Her dad came and helped her strap it up, and she goes shopping like an hour and a half away from where we live, to be closer to her family so she can go out with her niece and nephew and everything like that. So her dad was definitely closer than I was, but she was doing like 10 under the whole way coming home with it on the roof of her Jeep.
I had a customer lost a kayak on the highway the other day, actually, with her roof rack. She had a roof rack for it, and that's why they wouldn't let her reload it, because it was on like an overpass with no shoulder. And lost the whole rack and everything. So speaking of losing parts off your tow truck, you brought this wonderful video for us to enjoy. So here, enjoy. It is a vehicle on dollies going down the highway being towed by a wrecker with some sort of tire failure. 2 lanes over is a highway patrol, which is ironic. They're like pacing each other 2 lanes away, and you see the tire lock up the mark, and all of a sudden the dollies explode. You see dolly bars, you see dolly truck bouncing across the highway. It doesn't look like anything ends up in oncoming traffic or the whatnot, but the car runs over a dolly bar for sure. See another one laying in the highway. What a terrible place to have a dolly failure.
Thank Christ that operator didn't run his Bluetooth chains that day.
Yeah. Well, he might have. No, he might have. The pans might have still just held it.
I doubt it.
Vulcan
down
pans,
the road
man. Vulcan
50
pans
mile an hour?
hold. Yeah, I think it would. I think you'd have more luck that it would pop out if you'd stopped and tried to pull. But when it hit the road and there was like that, like they just start dragging right away.
Yeah,
I think so. But we'll never know. We'll never find this driver. But man, like how are you not looking back in your mirrors? When I'm dollying, I was constantly checking those dolly tires. Anytime
there's plumes of smoke coming from the tires, regardless if you can see the dolly tires or not. You see the plume of smoke coming out, and you're like, "Oh, that's me. I should probably pull over immediately."
I remember being on like certain roads, and like you get a little bit of dust off the road that would come up, and I would start to worry.
Yep.
And so now you're like you have to see that in your mirror.
There had to be some sort of failure with those dollies, or either operator error or failure, because when the video starts, the camber on the passenger side dollies that we can see in this video, they're at like a 45-degree angle going down the road, already smoking by the time the video even starts.
Yeah. So this guy had a failure. Obviously, it's a reminder to check your mirrors. So the story that I said this reminds me of something. It's the part where the car runs over the dolly bar. Oh, you can tell this is your video and your internet must be. There we go. It's smoothed out. So it's when the car hits the dolly bar. So years ago, the company I worked for, I wasn't even there at the time. They had one of the tow trucks, I believe, lost a receiver, like on this, like one of the slides on your wheel lift.
Yep.
Might have been that, or it was a receiver for a heavy. I can't remember what it was. Lost one, fell off the truck. Went to social media. Hey, if anyone finds this receiver, if you can return it, that'd be great. So guy reaches out a couple days later. Yeah, I found it. Like, I found your receiver. Oh, great. No problem. You want to come bring it to us? Sure, no problem. As soon as you pay for my oil pan that it took out.
Mm.
And
Hmm.
sure enough, it took out his oil pan. It took out a bunch of stuff on his car. He had hit it in the road.
Yeah.
And you know, without us posting, looking for this thing, he would have had no idea.
Yep.
So we ended up having to pay for the damage. It would have been cheaper to buy a new whatever it was, whatever receiver. But anyways, it ended up costing more. So yeah, it's one of those things, man. Stuff falling off your tow truck and getting hit by a car is never a good day.
No, I've worked with companies before where they've lost wheel grids right off the back of the tow truck because they didn't either flick the cam lock, or if the cam locks don't work on that particular truck, they don't bungee cord them back in because you're like, oh, it's stiff. I haven't greased the wheel grids and I don't know how long, and then they're hard to pull out. They won't come off while I'm going down the road.
Yeah,
until they do.
Yeah, until you hit a bump the right way.
And then you get to your next tow call and you're shit out of luck and jolly well fucked unless you can fork it because you don't have the equipment to do your job anymore. Yeah, it's never a fun time.
Sorry, I'm trying to work on I have a work thing at the same time going on.
Oh, that's all right.
So speaking of bad days for businesses, you seem to have another video that I actually haven't seen yet.
Oh, yes.
If you wanted to get into that.
So I was scrolling on my quest to find content for today. I was scrolling the good old Tow Talk on Facebook, and I kept seeing posts for this FBI raid on some towing company, and I was very confused about it because the posts that I keep seeing is like, oh, there's no information. But I tracked down a video that I'll play for you here now with audio. I think it's from NBC. And I'll just shut up so you can listen to this video in case you're not actually watching us over on the YouTube side of things.
All right.
FBI agents in SWAT gear raided a San Francisco tow company Thursday and arrested its operator and another woman. Jose Vicente Vadillo and Jessica Elizabeth Najarro were charged with money laundering as well as mail, wire, and insurance fraud. Agents carrying assault rifles made their way into the specialty towing office on Oakdale Avenue. NBC Bay Area Sergio Quintana spoke to people in the area, including Maria Vasquez, who described what happened Thursday morning. She said agents used bullhorns to shout orders to people inside.
Guys with assault rifles on the roof of cars.
What'd you think of that?
A little bit scary.
San Francisco city leaders say they're well aware of specialty towing. Police opened an investigation back in March when this video went viral, showing a specialty tow truck trying to latch onto a car in the middle of the street while people were still inside. Vadillo and Najarro are scheduled to be in court on Monday. We'll have the latest on this investigation on NBCBayArea.com.
So money laundering, is that what they're?
Yeah. Yeah, they said money laundering and something else. I'll just...
Rifles made their way into the specialty towing office on Oakdale Avenue. NBC Bay Area Sergio Quintana spoke to people in the area, including Maria Vasquez and Jessica Elizabeth Najarro were charged with money laundering as well as mail, wire, and insurance fraud.
Oh, okay. So they're definitely like accident. Like this is a Toronto tow company.
Yeah.
This is what Tessia was created for.
Yeah.
But man, you guys don't mess around. Like us, we have officers going, we're going to need to look in your yard. You guys are like, SWAT, get down.
Yeah. Well, I think it's different. If you're doing like a raid, you're going in to get all their files and everything, and you need the element of surprise, right? And being in the glory US of A, you need to come in pretty heavy because you don't know what they've got in that building.
Well, they're probably armed on the other side of it.
Yeah.
So no, that is that is wild. That
just makes the industry look amazing, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Let me give you a big POB. Good job. Good job. Good job.
Where? San Francisco. Yeah. Okay, so it's in California, right? San Francisco's in California. I got shit on by somebody that apparently from last week's episode, Louisiana and Georgia are nowhere close to each other. They're both south of the Canadian border, so they got to be close.
Yeah. You can drive for 25 hours and still be in the same province up here in the good old Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah,
they're all relatively close.
Yeah, I did like a 10-hour drive and I went through like 4 states. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it absolutely looks terrible on the towing industry. And I'm sure I never seen that video of them trying to hook up a car in the road. The car's backing up and they've got the self loader and they're trying to back up and catch up to them. Like, that didn't look good either.
Yeah,
God
like a
damn it.
main intersection in town. One of the other videos that I watched was apparently that company, they couldn't specify if it was that company or not. They pulled their operating license because of some shady shit, but they didn't know if it was the actual company in the video, because
Right.
specialty towing is a very common thing to have in someone's name, specialty towing.
Oh, really?
Apparently,
that's
that's
like,
what this guy was saying. He's like some mayor or whatever. But yeah,
that's like
that
A
was
towing, A action, A B towing, A, like
yeah.
it's just, yeah, you want the first letter, you want the first spot in the phone book back in the day is what they did a lot of theirs for.
But apparently they pulled their operating license for that area, and that's where this video was taken. So that was adding insult to injury of upon reckless reversing, trying to hook up to a car in an
With people in it.
intersection with two other people in the same car that you're trying to hook up. Like, that's just stupid.
There is so many more companies that make the industry look bad than companies that make the industry look good. And the problem is that the companies that make the industry look good don't get recognition for it. Right? They don't. They did for a while.
Yep.
We had TV shows about it. Look great. There still is some companies that are making it look good. But for the most part, this is what people see. So it's it's a real big pain.
I got another good thing for you, and we're just banging through topics here.
Sure.
We had a comment left on the last video from Jesse, and what I
About
actually
the AAA roadside photos and something.
No, I think he was cut or follow up from that one from previous episode. He says, "My company I work for protects our identities by every guy has their nickname. Even the 3-letter roadside knows us by them. Like, my name is the Joker, and I have jokers all over my truck, and the other guy's nickname is Woody from Toy Story, and another guy's name is Little Devil, just Lil Devil, Lil, and the other guy's name is 007 for James Bond. And to tell you the truth, it helps to bring the gang closer together. Even the bosses have their nicknames, even though my boss's name is on the trucks." Now, I'm kind of picking up from that comment that they have those nicknames on the side of their door.
Yeah. That's what I'm kind of getting to. I like the idea. I've always said, I wanted to work recently with our guys, and it's something I still want to look into about. I don't like putting a driver's name on a door, whether it's a first name or whether it's a nickname. I don't know what it is, but I find it just leads to a certain sense of entitlement.
That's my truck. Why were you in my truck?
Exactly. I already have that problem, and their names aren't on the doors.
Yep.
Right. At the end of the day, they're company trucks, and when the company needs them for something, we're going to use them. Like, you know. But I like the idea of the driver getting to name their truck. Like, when a new truck comes in, the driver that is assigned to that gets to nickname that truck. And that nickname stays with that truck until it's eventually replaced. Right. So if, you know, what was the stories back when of the Queen of Hearts? The driver of the truck was known as the Queen of Hearts because he was the ace behind the wheel. Like things like that, like the mistress, like all those things. I'm all for that. The truck gets a nickname. And the nickname stays with it. That I'm all for. The nicknames now are just unit numbers, right? 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 4. So there's not as much. Remember, we had a truck where we got to pick our numbers. Right. When we worked together, we got to, if you were getting a new truck, you got to pick its unit number, which is from a company standpoint that I look at now is a terrible idea. Like, you want your unit numbers in sequence. So, you know, we had one driver and it was the year, the model year, and then the unit number they got to pick. And we had an employee who it was 20-86. And when he quit, got fired, I don't remember how he left. The owners went and changed the unit to like 20-8 because it wasn't on good terms. And they said, we're not keeping the number that he gave it on there, which is just, again, a paperwork nightmare when you're trying to.
Was that truck 8? I think
That
I
was
know
truck
the
8, yeah.
operator. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was truck
Truck 8
8.
was a good truck.
Truck 8 was a great truck.
Yeah.
And same one
But
when I bought.
yeah, like that company had unit 4, unit 6, unit 8, and then it
Yep.
jumped to like 7,
Mine was
22,
7.
55, and
55, yeah.
77.
77, yeah.
Like just all
Mine,
over the board.
because I remember mine, it was, they asked me, what do you want to number it? And I said, I don't care.
Yeah.
And it was the first truck that the new owner had bought after his dad died,
Mm.
right? Because every other one his dad had bought.
Yeah.
And so I knew, and his number, I think, was 7.
Mm.
His thing was always 7 with all of his, sports or whatever. So I was like, I don't know, want to call it 7?
Yeah.
We already had 77, which was taken up, want to call it 7? Sure. Okay, cool. 7. I don't care about the number.
We already had a truck 8, so
Yeah,
7
exactly.
is
It
newer
made
than 8.
sense in the sequence. Like I wasn't going to go like 37
Yeah.
or like 36, like some random number.
Mm-hmm. That
So,
only means anything to you.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I like the idea of nicknames. I like the idea of nicknames among staff.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I do have one that I refuse to call it. He had a nickname for an incident that happened at a Christmas party where he chucked a lot of cookies everywhere. And I refuse to call him that.
Yep.
But I do because it's also named after a famous Disney character who breaks a lot of stuff. So whenever I do call him that, it's normally after something has been damaged. And we call him Wreck-It. So yeah, I like the nickname idea. It does build a good, morale and have fun among the guys and everything else. I don't like the idea of putting the name on the truck. I've always kind of been against that. The company name is what goes on the truck. A nickname for it, I'm all for. But it's just a certain entitlement thing. I've ran into it too many times. Oh, it's my truck.
I've been in the situation where I'm showing up somewhere in a truck that has someone's name on the door that's not my own. And like, oh, hey, Bob. It's like, I'm not Bob. Well, it says Bob. Sorry. It's his truck. I'm just driving it today.
Yeah.
And
No,
it's just
like
conversation that you don't need to have.
Yeah, I just don't like it. I don't know what it is. I really, I don't know. I've never liked the names on the doors.
No.
I've never had my name on a door. Maybe that's why. Maybe I'm bitter. Someone will be out there saying that. Well,
I
the only
can
reason
see
he
it,
doesn't
like,
it.
If your company is set up to where that driver is in that truck 12 out of 14 days every 2 weeks, and there's a 0.01% chance someone else is going to have to drive that truck for the life of the truck, sure, put that guy's name on the door. Maybe it'll make him take a little bit more pride of the truck, but
yeah, 100%.
Apples to oranges, I don't think a little name on the side of the door is really going to make that operator take any more pride of that truck compared to what he's already going to.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because he's already, like that's already his assigned truck, whatever the case may be. Like he's already taking pride in it. Yeah, it's not going to do anything.
If he's going to be living out of that truck, basically, which a lot of operators do, he's going to be taking care of that truck regardless, unless he's just not that type of guy to really give a shit.
Which those guys absolutely do exist.
Yeah,
absolutely do exist. So, no, it's I don't know. I feel like we kind of got a little bit all over the place today. From everything from FBI raids to dollies falling apart to credit cards. Should you keep them on your phone?
And kayaks.
And crash wrap and U.S. units of measurement. You guys have really pooched it on that one. Don't forget, guys, coming
Americans will measure anything with any sort of measurement device before they use the metric system. How long is that? I don't know, like 6 chickens long?
Yeah. It's 72 bald eagles.
Yeah.
100%. They will just the metric system to them, and until they use the metric system. I've met Americans that have, like, once they get an understanding of the metric system, they're like, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Water freezes at 0. It boils at 100. It makes sense.
But that's what they say. Metric is how water feels. Fahrenheit is how people feel. Like 100 in Fahrenheit is fucking hot, right?
Fair enough.
And anything below 50 is getting kind of chilly, right?
Okay, so that's where
you've got more deviation.
That's such a bullshit way to prove their logic, but I guess.
Well, it's what I've heard, right? And I personally, most Canadians use a lot of in between. Like, how
100%.
tall am I? I'm 6 feet, 6 foot. I don't know. I think that's like 180 centimeters, but that's just weird to fucking say.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And how much do you weigh? It's in pounds, right? But how fast do you drive? Well, we use kilometers, miles per hour interchangeably a lot, but they mean completely different things.
But
Do you tell it?
pounds and kgs is one that is easy enough to convert if you actually start using it.
Yeah.
Right? Like the 2.2 is very easy on those.
Yeah.
But no, it's like, yeah, they have just weird. Me, it's that it's this many in this, like like weights, especially, right? It's tens or something, hundreds or something, thousands or something. Like it's just all in zeros.
Yeah.
Where you get and it's like 30. Yeah, it's just it's how many yards in a feet meter? I don't know. Anyways, that being said, don't forget.
Have you been to the moon?
No.
The imperial system has been to the moon.
All right, fair enough. Don't forget, coming up on August 20, because I keep forgetting it, 25th, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. on the West Coast. We will be doing our 150th live episode. You'll find it over on YouTube as well as Facebook. Be sure to join us for that. And if you plan on attending the 2024 Professional Towing Association of Ontario's Tow Show being held in Cambridge, or Kitchener at Bingman's in September, do not forget to get your pre-order in for your t-shirt if you would like to purchase one from the show. August 16th is the deadline, and then we will be closing the pre-order, and we may bring a couple extras with us, but there is no guarantee we will have your size or any left by the time you get there. So be sure to check out the live. We'll see you again next week, and take care.
Toodles.